Swinging a high drive into center field. It's at the wall. It is gone! Costas does it again. It's gone! It's into the bullpen! This game is tied!
He swings and rips one to center field. It's high, it's deep, it's back, it's gone! Sale winds, he fires. Swing and a miss, strike three, it's over! The Red Sox have won the World Championship!
All right, welcome back to Play Tessie, episode 231. This is the official Red Sox podcast of WEEI. Before we get going, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, rate 5 stars, all the platforms. Find us on WEI's YouTube channel. Also, you can see the videos there. You got the Play Tessie playlist. It has all of our videos. Hit the thumbs up on them. We really appreciate that. Find us on the socials, at Play Tessie, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. It's just Gordo and Pat again today. I think Sammy's back for the next one. He's in California. California Sammy. He was Poolside Sammy. Temporarily taking the title away from Poolside Joe, but don't worry, Joe. You will forever be Poolside Joe. And your boy Bo Bichette was in attendance, and they the Blue Jays took 2 out of 3 from the Sox, which was great. It was definitely man. I was in my feels after the first one before we did radio on Saturday, Pat, which was fascinating because the studio was locked. We do the radio in the right field studio where you can kind of walk by, kind of near House of Blues,
Ford Clubhouse.
Yeah, the Ford Clubhouse Fenway Studios, brought to you by Ford. Yeah, we're usually there. We could not. The key got jammed, and we couldn't get in there. So we did Saturday radio. Baseball isn't boring on the radio from like the WEI broadcast booth that they broadcast the games in, which has a beautiful view of Fenway. And I think we should do all of our shows from there. And it brought the Red Sox a 15-run barrage on Saturday. I don't want to say I ripped them. I feel like we were fair. I mean, they traded Devers and then they traded Devers and then were incapable of scoring runs for a long time. And then they scored 15 runs and it was great. And then they went back to not scoring many runs on Sunday. But yeah, I was in my feels on Friday after the game. I was like, damn, like what has come of this organization? And then Saturday, it's kind of reality check. Like, hey man, like one win of this, like one big 15-run onslaught win, you'll feel a little bit better about yourself. Put me in my place a little bit. But then Sunday, it was just, the offense wasn't a graveyard. Like they got hits. They were out hitting the Blue Jays for a while. Did they end up out hitting them today?
No.
Let's see. 5-3 final score. Yeah, they out hit the Blue Jays 8-6 today.
Was it 8-6? Okay.
8-6. It wasn't even by 1. And the Blue Jays had the only error. The Red Sox didn't make an error, even though Nate Eaton probably should have made that play that ended up leading to Walker Buehler walking 3 guys and letting up a hit. But yeah, today's game, it wasn't like the offense was dead. It was more just like the same that we'd seen in the first few months of the year where it's like, yeah, they probably should have won that game, but a few bounces didn't go their way and a few things they messed up. And, the Walker Buehler did what Walker Buehler's been doing lately, which is suck. And they lost. So it left me, I don't want to say confused because right now, like they're not a good enough team right now. I don't expect it to change. There were points in time earlier in the season. I remember in particular after they lost a series to the Twins where I was thinking to myself, okay, like they've lost a lot of close games, but the law of averages is going to come into play. They're going to start winning some of these games and it's going to look better and they're going to get better. I don't feel like that right now. Like I don't expect it to get better. And I guess after the third game of the series, the best way I can put it was I'm disappointed that they didn't win, and I can't take any sort of solace in the fact that the offense wasn't a complete dumpster fire today because they've lost so many. They've lost now 7 of 8, and they don't have any wiggle room to lose these games. Like if they were in the position of the Yankees, like yeah, like maybe you could lose out on the division, but you know what? You're still going to go to the playoffs. Like you can afford losses. The Red Sox, like they're right on the cusp of, do they buy? Do they sell? Are they contenders? Are they not contenders? And when you're on that cusp, when you're on that borderline and you lose games that you should win, it's hard to take solace. It's hard to see the positives. And yeah, man, they've lost 3 series in a row. They keep losing 7 out of 8. I hate it.
Yeah. Today was not obviously nearly as bad as game 1, but the offense was fine. I wouldn't say they were good. They were fine. 8 hits, 3 runs. It's fine. Walker Buehler does what Walker Buehler does, walk the merry-go-round, let up basically an earned run an inning, do nothing to contribute to a win, which sucks. And then the other thing too is I doubt it ends up mattering, but you had the blowout loss game 1, you had the blowout win game 2. So you had to get your regular bullpen guys innings today. So they used Weissert, Whitlock, Chapman just to get them going, to use them, which I get. You got to keep these guys active and all that stuff.
And they used yesterday, so it's not like they had a long man available.
Yeah.
And I think they may have wanted to use Zach as that guy today, but he gets hurt, and it's like, okay, here we are.
Yeah. So, yeah, just such an abysmal series. And Gordo, like you were saying, it's like they're not really in a position where you can accept losses at this point in the season. It's now at the point where win as many as you can before Bregman gets back, and then you have to, yeah, and see where you stand. Because now that we have the timeline of after the All-Star break, that gives you about a week and a half ish with Bregman to kind of see what you have before the deadline. And as of right now, they're losing every fucking game. So. Yeah. It looks like they're going to be in position to sell, which sucks, but like it's the reality of it. No one can control, Costas blowing his knee out, Bregman getting hurt, Rafi being a diva, the whole trade thing. Like no one can control all that stuff.
You can control though. You can control, Pat. You can control the timing. You can control the timing of the Rafael Devers trade. You can, because it'd be one thing if they traded Devers and then the next day Bregman and Yoshida go down, and it's like, okay, well, who the hell saw that coming? But like Yoshida has not, he's yet to start his rehab assignment. I think that's happening Tuesday. Bregman
Tuesday, yeah.
He's on the field all the time, but he is not close to starting a rehab assignment. He was saying he may not even go on one, but this is a guy who's not coming back before the All-Star break. You knew that if you traded Rafael Devers, you were not going to have a middle of the order bat for quite some time. They chose to do it anyway. I posed this question on Twitter, like, because Breslow is right on one thing here, and it's that June trades don't just grow on trees. Teams don't want to sell their assets now. Like even a team like the Orioles that's gonna sell, they don't want to. They want to give their team any chance they have to compete, and the only way they're gonna forego that chance is if you blow them the fuck out of the water. And for a team like that, like the Red Sox are in desperation mode. But is this a team right now that is worth blowing a team out of the water for a rental for? We don't know what this team's going to look like, even with Bregman and Yoshida. Like people forget, like this team had Alex Bregman and Rafael Devers, and they weren't good enough. Like that team wasn't good enough. So are you really going to give a team like the Orioles, or I don't know, because like the Marlins don't really have bats. Like a team that's going to sell, are you going to give them twice as much as they're going to ask for at the end of July to get the guy now? Like, no, you're not going to do that. And Breslow obviously knew that when he traded Devers, which is why I just can't grasp the fact that he either A, didn't wait to trade Devers, because let's be real, the Giants have been trying to pay a bat for 5 fucking years at this point. Like, they would trade for Rafael Devers if you waited to the end of July. I promise you they'd take him. Or if you were going to trade him now, have a second move lined up, and you don't pull the trigger on a trade like this unless you have, and I'll keep pushing the Matt Olson button, but if you have the Matt Olson trade, the Jason Beatty or Manny Ramirez, if you've got that lined up, then this trade doesn't sting as much as it does. You've got something to keep you afloat. But right now, it's like they trade Devers because they want what's best for the kids, but in the process, you're drowning the kids in the short term. So there is going to be no fruits to bear in the long term because they're going to be dead. Like, not real. Like, you know what I mean, though? Like this year, they say that it's not a punt on this year, but when you drown your team for the period of time that they're doing it, even if you didn't mean for it to be, it is in essence a punt.
It is. And I think one thing that is worth mentioning is even if they did have an alternative move lined up or a secondary move, there's no one that you're going to be able to get in June, and honestly, probably July, that is a justifiable replacement for Rafael Devers.
It's true.
There are guys who can help towards it, like the Marcelo Zunas and the Josh Naylors of the world. But as far as like this season goes, there's no one that you're going to be able to get that is a one-for-one replacement for Rafi's production in this lineup. And like you said, it had to be done, but also like the timing of it. Like if you're close to the deadline, let's say like you trade Rafi 3 days before the deadline comes around, you have an alternative move for the Ozuna or the Naylor, like whatever. It's palatable.
But it's mid-June when you do this. It's like,
yeah. And it's just, you're now at the point where you're going well over a month without Rafi, obviously no Bregman, and the brunt of the load is falling on the rookies. You're seeing Marcelo, Roman, and Narvaez all kind of try and bear the weight of the lineup because Duran is slumping. Romy and Ref aren't hitting righties, which they've never really done, obviously. Rafael has been great. I want to throw that out there right now.
Oh my God,
has been great.
I'll eat it on that one, man. I was like, yeah, you should option him. That's how you get Roman up. You should maybe make him a bench utility guy. That's how you get Roman up. I'll eat my words. I will be flat out honest about the things that I said. And if you were in on Rafaela early, like props to you, because I didn't see the bat getting to this level, especially now. Like maybe in a few years, like his peak, I thought maybe he could be the league average bat that he's been over the course of the season. But like you look at the last month, I mean, he's league average. No, fuck that, man. Like he's well above.
He's been flat out good. He's been
good. Yeah. And so props to him making a great defensive play today too. And he's been hitting for weeks now. So shout out Rafaela, man. Like, you fucking did it, dude.
Yeah. And the other thing too is like you have guys who had been playing really well in Toro, who's starting to kind of, water finds this level. He has been bad.
I saw Toro jersey today. How crazy was that?
Really?
I saw Toro jersey at Fenway Park. Guy walking around in an Abraham Toro jersey, I swear. I posted on Twitter.
You know what? Hell yeah.
Seriously, yeah. If you're I saw Toro, I saw an Okajima, I saw Ryan Kalish.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was a good day. I saw Michael Chavis. A good day for jerseys. The fans that were at this game, they deserved better than leaving multiple guys on third with less than 2 outs and Walker Buehler, doing the old Walker Buehler.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Yeah, that pretty much nails it.
But yeah, they deserve better. Look at that. Dude, I had to whip my camera out so fast to get that picture.
Dude, that's like, I don't think you were there. I think it was the home opener. It was me and Sammy. And, dude, there was not a jersey, a stitched button-up jersey, Kelly Shoppick.
Oh!
It was
Is he from around here?
Is he?
I don't know. He screams. Let me look it up. Kelly Shoppick. Where the hell is this guy from? Kelly Shoppick, born in Texas. Very much not from here.
Yeah, no. Not even kind of.
You know what else happened at the game today? We'll bring the ship home, but I'm glad I remembered that we need to talk about this because I don't know how much of it was definitely caught on TV because Middlebrooks had a great line, and I want to shout him out for it because my buddy sent me a video of him saying it. But there was some issue when Nick Sandlin was taking the mound in the 8th. There was some issue with the mound, and they played Sweet Caroline. The song ends, and I look up because I can't stand Sweet Caroline. I sit down and I look at my phone, and so I was with my dad, and my dad is he's yucking it up with the guy next to us. And I wasn't like, I kind of tuned it out when they were chit chatting, but I guess he talked about the podcast and like we do the radio and stuff. And like, I didn't stand up for Sweet Caroline. And after it ended the first time, the guy looks at me and goes, I'm going to tell the podcast you didn't stand up. And I'm like, I fucking hate that song. I fucking hate it. And then they played it again because I guess the mound wasn't done. And they're like, oh, perfect opportunity, man. Sox down 5-3. Probably should be winning. What do these people need? They need a second Sweet Caroline, man. So shout out to the Red Sox for doing that. And Middlebrooks' line was something along the lines of, yeah, maybe because of this, like we can skip it a couple of times when they're losing. And I can promise you they won't. But yeah, two Sweet Carolines in one game. I could not fathom that happened. And then they lost.
That they lost.
And a game that they lost. And then they did the wave that inning too. So it was like my own personal Fenway Park hell. So Pat, I was going to say you're an anti-Sweet Carolina too?
For the most part, yeah. Yeah.
Well, okay. What would your solution what would your Sweet Caroline solution be?
Oh, you just play Sweet Caroline if it's tied or they're up in the 8th.
That's basically where I'm at too.
Yeah,
What I would make an exception. I wouldn't play it if they're tied if they were just winning and then they blew it. So it's like for me it'd be like if they're tied or they're winning, with the exception of if they were just winning and now it's tied because they blew it in the top of the 8th. I would have played that. Like the people have to be in. Like if we're gonna sing about how good times never felt so good, like at least let the times be good.
I will say the most depressed I have ever been in my life at Fenway. I was at that Blue Jays game 2 years ago.
And I'm sure they played it.
Sidney Sweeney threw out the first pitch. They lost like 23-5. Duran dropped a fly ball in center, didn't even make a move for it. Raimel Tapia hit an inside the park grand slam. They played Sweet Caroline at that game. So this must have been 3 years ago. I turned to my girlfriend and I said, "Can we please leave?" It was a graduation present to me. I was like, "Can we please leave? I am begging you. Please let me go." And we left. That was like, there's rock bottom, and then there's 23-5 error inside the park grand slam Sweet Caroline. That is the lowest Sweet Caroline guess.
A baseball.
Yes.
Yeah. Like the thing is, I say I hate Sweet Caroline, but I do think there's middle ground here to hate Sweet Caroline, but be open to liking it if they did it right. Joe, where are you at on Sweet Caroline?
So I sort of am at a conflict because my sister has that same name and she's getting married in 3 weeks. So it's
Sister Braver.
Yeah, you can call her Caroline because I said that was her name.
Sister Braverman.
So I'm trying to force myself to listen to it and not get cringe because I know it's going to get played. At least they're not going to play it multiple times at the reception or whatever, but I know it's going to get played a lot during that weekend probably. So I'm going to try and force myself to like it, even though I'm going to hear it like while I'm in the studio for this next home series. So yeah, that's kind of where I am on it.
Joe,
But I agree that there needs to be a timing of playing it.
Is she band or DJ?
I believe she's DJ.
Do you know? There's no way you're this deep in the weeds on it, but like for my wedding, we had like the DJ sent us like this website link, and you'd put on songs that he must like because he wanted like a lot of control. But like if you gave him a list of songs that he must play, he would play them. Songs that you really hope he plays, he'll try to get to them. And do not plays are the like he just won't play them. And Sweet Caroline, it's really funny because like during my wedding weekend, I had like 6 or 7 family members come up to me and be like, "Oh, I bet they're gonna play Sweet Caroline for you." And little did they know I had that shit on the do not play list. Like no way.
I think that would. So I was next to them when they were going through. There was a website, but I don't know if it was what you were describing, where it's a yes play, do not play, yada yada yada. But I would assume that is on their must play list.
Must play. Ooh.
Yeah.
Because she's not producing all the radio games and hearing
she's not in the weeds and getting annoyed at an 8-2 game now that the Sox are losing when they play it.
Or what was the score of the first game? Was it 9-1?
9-0.
9-0. Oh yeah, that's right. They didn't score. Yeah, so Joe tried to exaggerate by saying 8-2, but we had a 9-0 in this series. That was phenomenal. But yeah, this team doesn't. I don't know. It's tough because like obviously they scored 15 runs in the second game, and then in the third game, like they didn't score enough runs, but like it wasn't lifeless. So like, do you take those 2 games and think that there's a chance for it to get better? I mean, they've got Chase Burns on Monday, which I know he's got unbelievable stuff, but a guy making his second career start, like they could get to that. Like he's faced one big league team in his life. You could get to that guy. And then Brady Singer's been up and down this year, and I don't think they've announced a third starter, so we'll have to see there. But like, do you have any hope? Like, I'm trying to, because like I get we talk a lot about buying and we talk a lot about selling, but anytime we talk about selling, my caveat, because like what are they still 2.5 out, or did they fall to 3.5 today? They
I
are 3 out.
I was gonna say 3. Yeah.
They're
Also,
3 out.
not formally announced yet, but as of right now, it lines up to be Nick Martinez, Game 3.
Okay, and he must have thrown a boatload of pitches because he was trying to finish off a no hitter.
Yeah,
So maybe they didn't announce him because they're going to try to get him another day of rest. So maybe it's
could
not
be,
him.
could
So
be.
we'll
Yeah,
see. Either way, like it's not the most, like they faced some tough pitching. Like don't get me wrong, like, and props to them for getting to Bassett, because usually Bassett whoops their ass, and they basically equaled their total runs scored on Bassett on Saturday. But like the point I was trying to make before was I'm not going to get to the point where I start pounding the fist on the table. You got to sell until they actually get to that point. Like, are they heading in that direction? Like, yeah, unfortunately, even though Breslow keeps saying they're going to buy with the way they're playing baseball right now, yeah, by the time it comes time to make those decisions, they'll be in seller's camp. Are they there yet? No. So what can they do right now that's within their control? And I don't want to hear trade for this, trade for that, because no one's trading shit. What can they do within their control to get them to a place where you get to the end of July and you're in this thing and you get Bregman back, you get Yoshida back, and you can make the necessary trades to make this team, at least on paper, look like a team that's capable of making it to the postseason and making some sort of run when they're there? Like, what can they do to get to that point? Because
Oh,
they're not there.
there's one that's pretty obvious.
What's that?
You DFA Walker Buehler today.
Okay. Yeah, that's a discussion we should have. Because his quotes after the game, I don't have it right in front of me, but they asked him, "Are you fighting for your spot in the rotation?" And he basically said, "I'm fighting for my spot in baseball right now, man. There's no place for a 7 ERA guy."
His spots, his quotes did not have the conviction that they've had in the past. Prior,
What is he supposed to say? Like, we talked about this on our last show.
And I kind of aired out yesterday on radio, and I said, like, I can only hear "I suck, I need to be better, they signed me to be a veteran," blah, blah, blah. I can only hear that so many times. And then now where he's like, "Oh, like I'm pitching to stay in Major League Baseball."
Yeah.
It's a different variation of it. You know what I mean? And it's just like, this is now, 5 of his last 6 starts that have been just absolutely horrific. You don't have the time for that. There has to be a sense of urgency now. In every 5th day when he takes the bump, you are almost guaranteed to lose the game.
That's the way it's been. And here's his full quote. Thank you for pulling it up, Joe. He was asked if he's fighting for his spot in the rotation, which I believe Cora again said is
He
is
reiterated that he is in the rotation.
which I don't entirely disagree, but I'll explain why. Because like obviously I would much rather he not make his next start or any more. But asked if he feels like he's fighting for a spot in the rotation, he says, "I think I'm fighting for my spot in the game, honestly. I think at some point, throwing the way I've thrown, there's not a lot of places for 7 ERA starting pitchers in the big leagues. I don't know what the next step is, and obviously I want to take the ball every 5th day and keep going and keep fighting. But at the end of the day, we have depth and talent in this organization, and there are realities in this game. So regardless of whatever happens, I'm going to keep trying to figure it out. I think I owe this to my family and myself, given the rehab that we go through and what that does to you. I'm going to find it and have a run. I just don't know when or where that will be." So I actually don't disagree with anything that he said there, because like, is Walker Buehler fully cooked as a starting pitcher or as a pitcher in Major League Baseball? I don't know that he is, because his velocity is not all the way gone. Like somebody somewhere along the line, and he's not old. Yeah, I think that there's I'm not an expert in pitching. I can't tell you what the tweak is. Like something about his arm angle. I don't know. Like there's tweaks to be made, and like eventually at some point, like could he find it and be maybe not what he was, but a starting pitcher in Major League Baseball? I won't rule that out. But for the Red Sox, like again, Pat, we just talked about it. This is a team that every single game is precious. When you're hovering 500 and trying to get to that point where you force the front office to buy, to invest, to give you more time with a full roster, every time you throw Walker Buehler out there right now, and you can read it in that quote, this is a guy who does not think that it's coming in his next start. Like, he's like, yeah, I'll get there. I just don't know when or where. That's not coming next start.
I hate to say this because I hope it's not the case, but it feels like it. Doesn't it feel a whole lot like he's going down the Noah Syndergaard path?
Oof. I hope for his sake not. But, I mean, Noah Syndergaard just got a minor league deal somewhere. Where did he go?
Chicago, White Sox.
Oh, classic. But here's the thing. Let's think short term, because I agree with you, Pat. But, like, what do you like? How do you get yourself to a point where he doesn't make his next start? Who's there to take this? Because your options here in the let's not even say his next start. Let's say the near future, like within the next 2 weeks. Your options are Tanner Houck, who has gotten blasted in 3 straight rehab outings. He's looked worse in the minors. I feel I don't know. I haven't watched. I've only seen the box scores, but his box scores are as bad or worse in AAA rehab starts compared to Walker Buehler's in the majors. So you've got him, you've got Kyle Harrison, who might be a more realistic option, but they're going to wait until at least July 4th because that's how they get the extra year of control. But even on July 4th, Pat, like people forget, like Kyle Harrison is learning 2 new pitches on the fly in season with a new organization. That's like, yes, you could bring him up to the majors and he's going to give you better starts than Walker Buehler is. But like, is that what's best for him long term? Or is working on those pitches and perfecting them in the minors in a controlled environment, is that what's best for him? And then if your answer is that, then the question is, how do you balance the short-term needs of the team versus the long-term needs of the team and the long-term development of Kyle Harrison? Because the third option is Hunter Dobbins, who says he's coming along, but we've seen the Red Sox talk about guys coming along from injuries plenty of times, and then they don't come back. So, like, I don't think we can count on Hunter Dobbins because, obviously, if he's able to come back soon, that's your answer. But I don't think we can count on that.
Let me lay out a scenario. Let me know if you would do it.
Let's hear it.
So Walker's next spot through the rotation, I believe, is the Nationals.
Friday, right?
Yeah.
No, Saturday.
Friday or Saturday, whatever one it is. So let's say, hypothetically, they get rid of him. You go with an opener that game. So let's say Chris. They go.
Shout out Chris Murphy, by the way.
Yep.
Congratulations, made it all the way back and pitched great. So shout out Chris Murphy. It's a long road back from Tommy John, and he's been super good to us, and we love that guy, and that was really fucking cool to see him take the mound. Vlad Jr. is the first guy he faces, and just 2 innings, no hits, no runs, like just do your thing, man, and he's back, and that's awesome. But go on.
Yeah. So let's say you go Chris, whatever it is, that Friday or Saturday, and you squeeze him for 4, whatever. Then the next turn, you go Kyle Harrison, because that will be after July 4th. That will give Kyle Harrison, I think, 2 more starts in AAA.
Yeah, probably right around there.
Would you do it?
I mean, it just, all of it depends on how Kyle Harrison looks, because I don't think you can just DFA Buehler without having a sure bet option. Like, you can bullpen one game.
Yeah, agreed.
Like, but if you're not for absolute, like if they're committed to riding it out with Kyle Harrison and making those adjustments in the majors, then that's something I would consider. Yeah, but I don't know what they're going to do there.
The other part of this too is there's also the chance that if they go with an opener, Walker's next start, then Hunter Dobbins could also be back from injury at that point.
That's true, and they've got more information on that than we do. Obviously, there was they had fan photo day on the field on Sunday. And a fan asked Hunter Dobbins, he's like, yeah, I feel good. I feel like I'll be able to come back soon, which that's no small thing. Like when you see elbows, what was it, an elbow strain? Do I have that right? Him and Guerrero had, I think, the same injury. What did Hunter Dobbins have? I'm going to find it. Hunter Dobbins, I don't know. Is it? I don't know. Something with his elbow. When you see elbow, that's usually a death sentence. Like when I saw that strained right elbow, thank you, Joe, strained right elbow for Dobbins. When you see an elbow strain, like, yeah, sometimes it means, just a quick stint. Like with Pivetta last year, it was pretty quick. But sometimes like that means Tommy John. So like when Dobbins had that, and like obviously he didn't look that good in his Giants start, that's where my head went. So like very promising that he's gonna make it back pretty quickly. Pat, I feel like the end result here is he's getting another start,
which
sucks.
But also, like,
Can't sugarcoat it.
If Walker Buehler gets another start with the Boston Red Sox, that to me is indicative of they do not give a fuck about winning or losing games in June/July.
Well, it maybe means because Cora was after Saturday. He's like, yeah, we needed that win, but like it's not like we're panicking. And I feel like what we want them to do, and like,
is panic. You should panic.
Yeah, I was gonna say like obviously you don't want them to like actually panic, but make urgent moves because you need to win today.
Yes,
because there is a difference. I mean, we've seen them panic before, and sometimes panicking works. A lot of times it doesn't. Usually when you're ready to panic, like there's underlying issues that there's nothing you can do. It's like when you're at the end of a basketball game and there's 2 minutes left and you're down 10. Like, yeah, you can start shooting a bunch of threes, try to make up all the deficit like as quickly as it's probably not going to work because there's a million underlying issues that got you to down 10 with 2 minutes. Like, you don't want them to get to that point. But I feel like the solution, as much as it pains me to say it, like putting on my level head, is they probably have to give him one more start. And it kills me because I know how it's going to go.
Yeah.
But like maybe you do an opener. Maybe you do an opener so he doesn't have to face the James. It's going to be the Nationals. Like James Wood, get him out of the way. So
oh my God, dude! James Wood is going to take a ball 500 feet off Walker Buehler. Yep.
Yeah, but let's on the second because we talked briefly about it. What Tanner Houck? It's so funny.
Yeah.
Maybe it was after his first. No, it was before his first rehab start. We were texting in the group chat and we're like, "Oh, should we like?" Because I think it was on a recording day, or it was either on or a day before a recording day, and we're like, "Oh, should we talk about maybe Houck coming back soon?" And like, then he only threw one inning that day, and so we and like he sucked too. So we didn't do it. We didn't talk about him. He's like, it seemed very far away. Now it's like he got multiple outs in the fourth inning today. He's getting pretty built up. He's been on rehab for a while. I don't know how many days it's been, but he's got to be at least halfway to his 30-day rehab window, which if you don't know what that is, it's like you have 30 days to be on a rehab assignment before the team has to make a decision. And Houck has options. So like if they really didn't want him in the majors, like they could option him. But that's I guess what I'm going to ask you here, Pat. Like if the rehab starts look like they've looked, like where do you even go?
Dude, you make him a reliever.
In the majors?
No. You get him used to the reliever routine again in the minors, and then you bring him up.
Why is it this bad?
I don't understand. Because I thought a full-blown shutdown, reset, work on mechanic stuff was going to do him well.
At least to an at least be a little bit better.
It looks
he may not be what he was, but like, come on.
Agreed, yeah. But based on the returns in the AAA rehab assignment, it looks like a lateral, if not backward move.
If you went from Buehler to Houck.
No. I'm talking about him
from where he was
post
before.
IL. Yeah. It's just as bad, if not worse. His velo is down, by the way.
Yeah.
Velo is down. He's probably got, what, a 6.7 ERA in AAA right now?
I don't know. But it's
bad. It's very
start,
bad.
Today's start, was it today? Yeah, it was today. Sunday.
Yep.
Sunday's start may have been the best that we've seen from him, and he still let up 4 runs in less than 4 innings. Joe, do you have the ERA in front of you? If
no,
not,
I was just going to point out that today was a relief appearance. Like, he still went 4 innings, but it was in relief. He didn't start.
Yeah. His AAA ERA right now is 12.79. You are right, Joe. They followed an opener. I'd be curious. Like they said it wasn't because they were making him a reliever, and him going 3 2/3 innings backs that up. But clearly there was something, I don't know, maybe because it worked for Pivetta. Was that 2 years ago at this point? Yeah, that was 2 years ago when Pivetta got kicked to the bullpen and wasn't happy about it, but accepted his role and did it. Shout out Nick Pivetta for doing that. I guess we took for granted that guys who get asked to do things they don't want to do sometimes just don't do them. So shout out to Pivetta for actually doing it. But Houck, I don't know. Like Pat, I agree. Maybe the move is to shorten it up, 1 inning guy. Like obviously, every team can use bullpen depth, and they've got a depth of back of the rotation starters. They don't need another one if that's what Houck was going to be. I mean, when he went down, what I said was, yeah, give him a shot to come back as a starter because we've seen the ceiling. We've seen what he was last year. You've got to give him a chance to get back there. But like if we're seeing what we're seeing here, like it's not happening. So if that's not going to happen, like you got to try something else. And like, yeah, if you make him a reliever, he's not going to be your all-star Tanner Houck because he's a reliever. But at least you give him a chance to maybe be able to help your team. And we've seen in game 1 and game 3 that the Red Sox have relievers on this team. And granted, I'm talking about Luis Guerrero. I mean, he got hurt. Zach Kelly didn't pitch super well today, also got hurt. Like they've got guys out there. A, they've got injuries in the bullpen. B, they've got guys that are wearing down. I mean, Bernie pitched well on Sunday, but like we've seen that, and like Weisert's worn down a little bit. And then you've got guys that are up here that just haven't really given you production. Like Tanner Houck, maybe he could be that. But where I'm at is in the near term, you can't bring him back. You got to option him. And I know that like that's not something that he's gonna enjoy, but you're trying to win games. Like that's as simple as that. And he has options. It's not even like Buehler. Buehler, if you don't want him here, you got to DFA him. Houck, you don't have to do that. You can just option him. So that's what I would do. Option him. I agree, Pat. Try him out as a reliever.
Yeah. And I think historically, that's what he's been. He had the one kind of odd one-off year last year where he was incredible for like 70% of the year. Obviously, he was an all-star and all that stuff. But the latter half of last year and then everything in spring training and this year, there's been nothing encouraging in regard to him as a starter.
Great.
Like his velo is not good. His slider is not great. The split was hanging. The fastball velo was down. Like,
well, here's the thing though, Pat, is he would have starts. Like his highest fastball velocity in a start came this year.
Yeah.
Like it's like I don't understand. Like it's the same thing as the Buehler thing, like where it's like, oh, the velo isn't necessarily like. Then how are we not making the right adjustments to like we have the tape? We've seen this guy at his best. It's one thing if he's physically not able to get there, but if the velo's there, like you can't tell me that.
Yeah, and I think especially very early on, like that. I mean, obviously that Tampa start sticks out because it was whatever it was 11 earned,
and Detroit. He did it twice.
Yeah. But like his location was so bad, and historically, like it has been. That's nothing new. Like historically, his location has not been good. But everything aside from the fastball velo just took like multiple steps back. Not one, multiple. Like there were times last year where his slider looked very Chris Sale-esque. I don't remember one slider this year where I thought that. The split just looks like a slower fastball. Like everything just looks so bad.
Yeah, I don't even know. I genuinely don't even know what to say because I mean we haven't seen him in a while, and I feel like we all thought that when he got put on the IL it was a fake, like the phantom IL, and it probably was. They shut him down from throwing. Maybe that was just like a mental breather. So I don't know. I mean, he just hasn't been the same guy. And when you talk about did the Red Sox have enough pitching entering the season? Like I thought the answer was yes, but a big part of that was I was expecting Tanner Houck to be the number 2 starter of this team. And for him to not even just not be the number 2 starter, but not even be close to like start a bowl.
A serviceable starter, yeah.
Like a 5. He's not even close to a 5. And yeah, that's like I take a bunch of shit from these heathens on Twitter that wanted us to trade for Dylan. They wanted to trade Wilyer Abreu for Dylan Cease, a rental. And I take a lot of shit for saying that I didn't think starting pitching was a need. But like, if you fucking thought Tanner Houck wasn't going to be startable in a starting rotation, Like, props to you, man, because like I sure as shit didn't see that coming. And Walker Buehler, like, I didn't think he was going to be a number 2. I thought they could get him to be like a mid-rotation guy. Turns out he's not even a back of the rotation guy. Like, shout out to the pitching guys for getting Giolito and Bayo on track, because I mean they've got 3, maybe 4 pieces of a rotation right now. Fitz, we've only seen, what is it? He's been back for 2 starts? 3? 1?
Sorry, no. He came back with that like weird extra rehab start.
Right, not counting that. He came back for the rehab starts.
So since his initial IL stint, I believe it's been 3.
Right, but it's been 1 since he got
called up. Yes.
Basically, yeah, what happened was he was pitching well. He hurt himself against the White Sox, went down for like a month and a half, didn't do a rehab start, came up through 3 scoreless against the Brewers, and then made his next start against the Angels, got absolutely blasted in the first inning, and they were like, all right, like, you learned your lesson. You're going to have to do rehab stints. Like, you got to go down and like get yourself back. Goes to AAA for 3 weeks, comes back up, and in his 1 start since coming up, 4 innings, 2 earned runs, 6 strikeouts, got swings and misses, was like a little bit inconsistent with his strike throwing, and just kind of everything in his repertoire was a little bit inconsistent, but the stuff is there, and we've seen Richard Fitz look really good. I'm willing to pencil him into the rotation. Like, you've got 4 guys. You've got 4. And we talk about the offense. We've talked about the offense a ton. We talked about the offense a ton on radio on Saturday, as I think was deserved. But the truth is, like, even if the offense finds it, you can't have the Walker Buehler start every 5th day. And hopefully Kyle Harrison, hopefully Hunter Dobbins, like, someone's going to be able to step into that role. But the question is similar to, like, can you make it to the point where Bregman gets back? Can you make it to the point where Yoshida gets back? Can you make it to the point where Dobbins and or Harrison can step into that role? We'll see. Pat, we got any enough said from you today?
Ooh, do we? Actually, yes. I would argue that a top 5 player in the league that is the most exciting to watch is James Wood. If you have not watched James Wood, tune into a Nationals game. He hits tanks. Did you see his stat line today, Gordo?
James, didn't he get intentionally walked like 4 times?
4 times. Intentionally walked 4 times as a rookie.
I mean, he's a beast, and he's in a lineup full of not beasts. Like,
yeah, no, around him, like C.J. Abrams has been good. Nathaniel Lau is, serviceable. He hasn't
had that good of a season.
Yeah, but a rookie today, as we record on Sunday, got intentionally walked 4 times. That is nuts. Do you know how hard it is to get the respect to be intentionally walked once or twice? 4 times. That is insane.
Who hits behind him? I'm gonna pull up who hit behind him today.
Oh,
because
God.
That's like it is a huge show of respect to James Wood, but it is almost an equal amount of disrespect shown to whoever the fuck is behind him. Luis Garcia Jr. That's why. Holy shit.
Yeah, dude.
This
their
lineup is way worse than the rest. They've got 2 guys.
Real bad, yeah.
They've got CJ Abrams at the top, and then James Wood, and then here's what they had. OPSs for the remainder of the lineup: 719, 696, 640, 556, 650, 1167. That guy must not have any at bats. Milas, a catcher. Never heard of him.
I believe today was his first game.
Yeah, you're right. It was 1 for 3. That's why. So to recap, 719, 734. No, sorry. 719, 696, 640, 556, 650. Season debut, 637. Hey, that's the team that Walker Buehler's facing next. Come on. He can get through that. Just intentionally walk James Wood every time.
Yeah, but then you let up 2 home runs.
to Luis. How many home runs does Luis?
Luis Garcia has more home runs than you think he does.
He has 7.
Yeah, I would guess
That's
like
fine.
4.
You're right.
I would guess like 4.
You're right. I would have guessed less too. He's 7 homers and 7 steals. Shout out Luis Garcia for having a shot to go 15-15.
Yes. Shout out Luis Garcia for being in the incredibly selective 7-7 club.
That fucking 7-7 club. Let's go. Who on the Red Sox? Who is the worst player on the Red Sox that's in the 7-7 club? I bet they don't have that many because 7 steals is not.
Story's
got to be in the 7-7 club.
He is for sure. He is he is. He has 13 steals. 14 today?
What about Romy? Where's he at? He is
No,
he's 3-4.
Romy doesn't have the home runs. I don't even think Jaron has the home runs, honestly.
Yeah, no way. No, Jaron has 5. He's 5-15, so he is not
Sneaky?
in the 7-7 club.
Sneaky. Maybe Willier.
Sadon is. Sadon's got 9-11. Willier's got 14-4.
Okay.
So we've got Story and Rafaela, and that's got to be it.
Yeah, Bregman wouldn't have the bags.
Wouldn't have the steals. Yeah, so even Rafi before he left, no steals. So shout out Luis Garcia for actually the 7-7 club. Not that bad. Not that bad.
Not that bad. Pretty good ball player. Pretty good ball player.
Still worthy of walking James Wood 4 times in front of you, but shout out for having 7-7.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
My enough said, we need to talk about this because we've been 46 minutes into this show and we haven't brought it up. The most shocking thing that happened this weekend. Do you know what I'm talking about? Have you put it together what I'm talking about, Pat? One of the most shocking things I feel like that has happened live while we're on radio.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So we're on the radio and we go into a commercial break. And so I've got Bradfo's tweet notifications on. So anytime he tweets or retweets, I get a notification. Someone tweeted at Bradfo, like someone get a check in on Bradfo right now. And it's just a picture of his book and he retweeted it. And he didn't know what the hell he was doing. He just retweeted it. And I pull it up. I'm like, why did you retweet this? He's like, I don't know. And I look at it. I was like, why did he just tweet a picture of your book at you? And I look into it and it's not a picture of his book. It's a picture of an Instagram post of his book from Tom fucking Hanks out of nowhere. Promotes Bradfo's book, A Damn Near Perfect Game, for free without there was no request. I don't know. Maybe Joe Kelly's got something on him. I don't know. But Tom Hanks was like, here, I got to pull it up so I can read the caption because the caption also did it justice. It's not even like he just posted a picture of the book and it's like, hey, this was pretty good. He said, if you want a damn near perfect read to start your damn near perfect summer, get this damn near perfect book. Yeah, Tom Hanks. That was crazy. And his Amazon sales Tom Hanks has 9.5 million followers. The Amazon sales exploded. That was crazy. What? I'm sorry. Why? And I've read the book. It's a great book. You should buy the book. You should read the book. But why Tom Hanks out of nowhere? Why is that happening?
Yeah. Honestly, the best was when we broke the news to Rob.
He was
because he blind retweeted, and then it was you. You open Twitter. You're like, what is this about a wellness check on Bradfo?
Yeah.
So then I open my phone, and you go, oh my God, Rob, did you look at this? He goes, no. And we show him. We're like, Tom Hanks posted your book. Verbatim. Rob goes, like Forrest Gump, Tom Hanks? And we go, yes. So this is a radio break. This is a commercial break. Rob reads it, sees who posted it, and goes, is this a post or a story? We go, it's a post, Rob. He starts shaking. I thought he was going to faint. And he goes, I need to run to the bathroom. Just starts freaking out. It was awesome.
And then radio comes back on and he has to do an opening and he's like, I can't do this. What?
He was stuttering.
What just happened?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was awesome. It was perfect. And no one deserves it more than Rob.
That's true. Rob, seriously, what an absolute grinder. Not even just for the book, but for Baseballs and Boring. You guys don't even know the half of what goes into doing what he does. So he definitely deserves that.
Which means in a few weeks, get ready to listen to Tom Hanks make his Play Tessie debut.
Well, we were talking about that at lunch. We're like, so Rob, you going to get him on the pod? Like, it's like, I would think getting Tom Hanks on the pod would be way easier than getting him to not just a story, to make a post about the book. Like, you would think that his Instagram, like his space on his Instagram page, way more valuable to him than 45 minutes, 20 minutes on the pod. So shoot your shot. Shoot your shot. I'm the author. You posted my book, damn near perfect book. Like, let's talk about it, man.
If he doesn't do it, we're gonna do it on his behalf. We're gonna flood Tom Hanks's DMs.
Yeah, you know what? If you're listening, if you're still with us here, shoot Tom Hanks a DM. Tell him to jump on the Baseball Isn't Boring podcast and the Play Tessie podcast. Let's get him on the show. Joe, you got the WEI's got the Tom Hanks phone number, right?
I wish I did. No,
nah, they've got it.
I think even if they did have him on before, like that was way before my time.
Nah,
or any of our time.
Ken Laird, let's get that Tom Hanks phone number. I know you got him in your phone.
Yeah,
let's do it.
Real quick before we go, I do have one mini Nuff said and then a bigger Nuff said. One
double Nuff said. Let's hear it.
Yeah, one mini Nuff said. Tito's coming back because the Reds are in town. So
shout out Tito, one of my favorites.
We're gonna see a lot of Terry Francona this upcoming week. That's number one. Number two, just a little self promotion. Everyone listen to the Dong Report on the Christian Arcand show. If you're looking for a fun way to recap all the home runs in baseball for that particular day, anytime Arcand's got a show on WEEI, tune in 9:20 p.m. We have a lot of fun there.
We have a lot of fun on the Arcand show. We've all done Arcand appearances. It's fun.
Oh yeah,
it's always good on the Arcand show.
Yeah, but the Dong Report it made its resurgence. We just did our third installment of we're calling it Dong Report 2.0. So if you haven't seen it, it's just we capture all the dongs, all the home runs from that day, and you might get some funny things here and there produced by me.
Funny things with Joe Braverman.
Yeah, just think of the most funniest thing you can think of when you hear of James Wood, I guess.
Big James Wood dongs. Yep, that's what we all. Big James Wood dongs.
Just a really good quote by the actor James Wood. While we're on the subject.
No.
But anyway, just
isn't that
listen.
James Woods?
Yeah, but it's close enough where we make the joke.
Yeah, that's Hades in Hercules to you.
How old is James Woods?
Yeah, Pat. Why would you say that? Gordo wouldn't know anything about it.
James Woods is 70.
Yeah, wait. Gordo. Of all of the pop culture things, you know James Woods?
Listen, Pat, I watched a lot of Family Guy growing up, all right?
That's where you know it.
I almost glossed right over that. That was absurd.
Let's see. What is James Woods most famous for?
Well, Pat just said it. He was the voice of Hades in the
Hercules. Yeah, there it is.
The animated Hercules.
Yeah, he was also in Once Upon a Time in America, and I think he was in Casino too.
He was in Scary Movie too. Those movies are fucking nuts.
We should ask Giolito about him. Ask Giolito about him and Tom Hanks.
Well, we should ask Giolito if he enjoyed Scary Movie, I think, 2, where Shaq had to cut off his foot, but cut off the wrong foot. Or no, it was Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil cut off the wrong foot. Shaq just pointed it out.
Yep.
Shaq had to hit a free throw with a brick, and he couldn't do it. All right. We should call it there. That's going to be a wrap for episode, 231 of Play Tessie. Appreciate you guys tuning in. I believe we're going to have a full cast next time. Going to have to check in with Sammy because we'll have another episode dropping for you guys Wednesday. But yeah, remember to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Rate 5 stars. Find us on WEI's YouTube channel. Subscribe to WEI. Hit the thumbs up on all our videos, which you can find in the Play Tessie playlist. And find us on the socials at Play Tessie, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. You know the drill. And yeah, it's going to do it for Pat, for Joe producing. It is Gordo here for Play Tessie talking about our beloved Boston Red Sox team that we love so much. And by God, man, I just cannot wait for whenever that day comes where we get to go on this podcast and like 80% of the time, if not more, be happy about what we're talking about, as opposed to right now and every other year where we are spending the month of June and July talking about whether we're going to buy or sell. So we'll be doing a lot of talking about whether they're going to buy or sell next month and moving forward. But till then, appreciate you guys tuning into this one. Peace.